How to improve your skill set 10x. Welcome to Achieving Success Through Failure. As a surgeon who actually trains resident doctors for a living, what does that mean? Well, from someone who does not know how to operate, we actually have to break it down and improve task performance in order for them to learn safely and be able to become surgeons who would be taking care of us all in the future.
No pulse. Wide complex rhythm.
I can't get this clot out. I need more suction. I need more.
He's bradying down. You have to get the clot out.
I can't get it. Screw it. I'm using my hand.
God, look at the size of that.
And in this topic, we're going to be talking about how to break down the task, how to analyze it, and how to improve yourself. Why is this important? Well, it's not just in surgery. It's something that I actually use in business, that you can also use in sports, athletics, physical fitness, other aspects that you can continually improve so that you can become better every day till you can become the best. So let's get started. In improving your task performance, the first thing that you have to understand is you have to choose what task to improve. That's number one. By identifying a specific task, then you can work on that task alone to actually improve it. A specific example for surgeons would be removal of the gallbladder. Other things that you could choose, let's say in business, is going to be raising capital or sales and marketing. You have to choose one, and from there may be it may still be a broad umbrella that you may actually narrow down. What's the next one? Number 2. Perform a task breakdown. Once you've identified a specific task, break it down to components. What does that mean? Well, I've got a perfect example here. When you break things down into components, one good reference is looking at a book. Here's 10X by Grant Cardone. When you look at any book, before you even read it, you can actually understand what it's all about. You can actually look at the table of contents. And from there, you'll see breakdown of chapters, and these are going to be the highlights, the headings of things, what this book is all about. It is that specific breakdown that they want to emphasize on. After task breakdown, work on understanding each component of the task. Like the book. Now you have the chapter head, and now you get into the details. Same thing with task performance. When you break down a task into its basic components, you have to figure out what each component is about. You have to understand the nitty-gritty of each one. What are the important parts? How does it actually work? And to better facilitate this, we go to step number 4. You actually leverage on other people's knowledge. So how do we do that? Through books, through videos, through learning through other people's experiences, through mentorship, through training. All of those things will establish principles which are present as people's observations from their previous task performance. Then they basically deduce a hypothesis on what affects those performance and make generalizations. The breakdown actually looks at actions on what results they provide, what are the risks and consequences, and what errors may affect them. Now that we've actually broken it down, now we have to rebuild it up. By understanding the nitty-gritty and the specific details, now you should be focusing on how to rebuild the task and perform it completely. This now actually requires action, where you have to be specific at your performance. This is now where it actually comes to people who have been training. Well, Throughout the time that you are doing your task, an important thing if you want to improve is actually collecting data. Collecting data tracks factors which affect it and outcomes that you have. If you don't have outcomes, you can't say that your performance is optimum because your outcomes actually define your performance. For us as surgeons, our outcomes are multifactorial. These are going to be outcomes based on complications, patient outcomes and satisfaction, efficiency in surgery, and for us specifically, the performance of our trainees. These are all outcomes that we can track and improve our overall performance. After we track our data, we have to analyze them and understand what we need to improve on. By looking at our performance, you can identify what the problems are. You could look at it in relation to which factors affect what outcome, and from there make specific changes, which goes to the next one. When you make specific changes, you then retrack your outcomes so that your task performance can be followed by their results and be reevaluated. This then becomes a continual process of improvement unless you identify new tasks that may affect it and break it down. In order to grow and improve, you have to take a look at it as a graph. I personally look at it as a risk-reward graph in which you have risk in the y-axis and reward in the x-axis. If you draw a 45-degree diagonal line across the x and the y-axis, I call this the line of responsibility. What you want to be working on is actually staying below and obtaining more reward at lesser risk. But how do you do that? You do that by actually improving on your skill set and your knowledge. The more we train residents, the more they're knowledgeable about the anatomy through experience, practice, and continual training and participation in surgery. Those risks are actually mitigated and go down in their task performance so that they can become safer surgeon performing more complex tasks. Another activity which clearly exhibits this type of risk is parkour. The people performing this sport is able to mitigate that risk with their training and their skill level. By taking smaller steps, you could actually improve on yourself and be 1% better every day. I hope you guys liked the video. If you guys have any questions, comments, please type it in the chat, and please click the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next week.